current account in-app in minutes. It's quick, it's mobile, it's the start of making your everyday banking easier. Now that's permanent support. Application in your sole name for over 18 personal customers and residents of the Republic of Ireland only. Qualifying criteria, terms and conditions apply. Permanent TSB PLC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Gene Curran on Highland Radio.
And you're very welcome back. And joining me in the studio tonight, I've got Andrew Tinney from Bard Theatre, and he's going to talk to me all about his new project for the summer, a brand new musical called Brown's Days. And you're very welcome, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And it's one thing to direct a musical. It's one thing, and I'm in awe of people like Kieran Kelly and Sean Byrne who wrote plays, but to actually write a musical, to write the lyrics, to write the libretto and the songs, it's some achievement. So,
Don't speak too soon.
Congratulations on that to start off with.
Thank you. If you're going to ask me how I did it, I don't know. It's the short answer. It's just it came from me. I suppose it was an idea that started. I work a lot with teenagers, as you know, so it kind of sort of sparked from them, because the common denominator that they all have is they all have an attitude towards school. So I thought let's explore that. So it it spanned from there. And the brilliant thing about lockdowns was there was lots of time to write. So that's where it sort of came from.
And how long did it take you from start to finish to complete it?
It's because it's the first inception. There are still things that I'm tweaking and changing here, but I kind of first came up with the idea in 2019. So what's that? 3 years ago. So it's been sort of on the back burner and running around my mind for that length of time. So that's sort of where it is.
Uh-huh. And it's a comedy, or it's not a very serious. I suppose there are issues that are serious, but there's a laugh or two in it as well.
There's a laugh or two as well. I think the best way to describe it is that it deals with it's sort of a reflection back on your day, your final days of secondary school, and all the things that sort of you think are very serious at the time, but as you get older you realise aren't that impactful. Things like your first kiss and your attitude towards going out to the disco and stuff like that. That all changes dramatically as you get older. That's the sort of the funny moments are in that. Exploring that type of thing as well. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. And I suppose from my own time too in school, as you know yourself.
I remember that.
And adolescence, it's not an easy time.
No, it's not, and the play does touch on that as well. Although there's comedy moments about what they how they interact with things, and you look back on it in 10 years' time and you go, gosh, wasn't that silly that we worried about that at the time. But there are sort of very difficult things that they deal with, and one of the things that this play explores is social media, and the impact of social media. And social media is a great thing because it allows us to be connected, and it allows us to sort of communicate a lot quicker than we ever could previously. But there's that sort of dark, sort of insidious, almost bullying side to social media, and the play touches a bit on that as well. That it's not all sort of a good thing, social media, and that's sort of the main conflict in the musical comes from a thing that happens on social media, and the fallout then of how it sort of ruins two of the characters' lives, and they have to deal with that then. So that's where that.
Yeah, I think that social media, like as you say, it has so many positive things.
Yes.
But I know whenever I was at school and you had a row with someone, well, we didn't even have a telephone in our house, never mind a mobile phone.
Yeah.
there was no contact, so you forgot about it. But it's in your face all the time now.
It is in your face all the time, and the play deals with that even they get older, it's still something that's affecting them, and it's still something that sort of plagues their life. The play does end on a message of forgiveness and a message of hope, which I do want to kind of reinforce a lot throughout the musical. But as you say, it follows them everywhere, and even whenever I was in secondary school, as you remember, Jane, it was sort of the same thing. You had an argument, but social media wasn't that big back then. It was present, but you kind of dealt with it on the day and then moved on. Whereas now, as you say, it just lingers with them, and it can be very sort of damaging if not dealt with correctly. So it does touch on that.
I was intrigued by the title Brown Days. Now, sort of
Yes.
what I had in my mind was like brown is sort of it's sort of a murky colour, and maybe that was as far from your head when you chose a title.
Not really. It did start off because the majority of pupils that I have come from I don't know if I can mention it. There's a secondary school in the town here that is all girls, and their uniform is a certain colour, and they all sort of complain about why the uniform is this colour. So I initially sort of wrote it, okay, so it's Brown Days. They all have a brown uniform, but it did sort of morph from that into what you're sort of talking about, where it is murky days, and it's days that are basically days that are a bit crap, and we all have our brown days. And the play touches on that even when you're in school and you're having your brown days, as you get older you still have brown days, but I think you're more equipped to deal with them the older you get. And yeah, that's what sort of deals with that. So you're kind of spot on with the title.
And characters, are there many characters in the play, Andrew?
We've 20 speaking parts, believe it or not, so there's quite a large cast, but the four main characters are Serena, Zara, Jessica, and the guy is called Oliver, and they follow around, and tagging along with them is a character called Colette, who is also one of the main characters but doesn't sort of make an appearance until sort of halfway through, and that's very deliberate because she's the shy one, and the social media fallout happens with her, and then suddenly she becomes the centre of attention, and because she's so shy she's not sure how to deal with all this centre of attention and the resulting sort of fallout from that there. So there are five main characters, I suppose, four main characters through the first act of the play, and then Colette comes into the sort of a main player halfway through. So we're very excited. We have actually cast our Colette, who, a local girl from the town, Leah Mullen, very, very talented singer. I'm very excited to get her onto the stage as well, and hoping to cast the rest now on the 18th of June, which is next Saturday. We're having our final round of auditions, and then after that we'll have our characters sorted. Hopefully.
And age-wise, you're talking about teens, like a group of teens,
yes,
from 13 to leaving cert, or is it roughly
we have an age gap of 14 to 21, so we are open it to people that are a little bit older, maybe people that have an interest in musical theatre that are, maybe local and at university, but still want to do something over the summer. We just opened it up to those as well, because we thought, why not give everyone an opportunity that's still sort of going through that same thing, because I think when you're in university, some of the rules from school still apply to you, and you're still going through the how would you call it, the journey of academia. So yeah, there's still that element to it.
So the last chance then to audition for the remaining parts is the 18th. That's Saturday.
Yes.
And where are they going to be held, Andrew?
Yeah, 18th of June. It's Saturday. Over in the Alley Theatre. So it's the library part of the Alley Theatre. But if you go to the Alley, they will direct you where to go. At 10:30. It'll only last an hour and a half. And if you are interested in coming to that, all we ask you to do is prepare a song, any song from any musical theatre performance that you so desire, if you wish to be considered for the lead, that is, and there'll be a bit of dancing there too, so wear something comfortable.
Fantastic. And of course, as you say, you just mentioned dancing there, you're our you've written it and all the rest, and
as far as I'm concerned, once it's cast and we've got a director, I'm done. I just sit back because I've written it. No, so we do. I've written it, and I have a team behind me as well. Jade Malloy O'Donnell, who is trained in Stella Man over in London. She's a girl from Strabane, and she is going to be choreographing it and doing all the wonderful things that Jade can do. And then Cody Morrison, who is a very, very talented director and producer who's been working since 2014 across the whole island of Ireland, directing and producing different works for different companies, is on board as our director. So very excited to get to work with the two of those as well. And we will have guest appearances by Miss Andrea Emmett of Triumph Performing Arts. She's coming back over. She's actually training in London at the minute. So we're also excited to get Andrea involved too. So yeah, a great team behind it. So looking forward to giving teenagers as well the opportunity to work with professionals like Jade and Corey and Andrea, and seeing that there is a job in theatre, I suppose, as opposed to just people dancing on stage.
And once you've got the final cast, Andrew, then there's workshops involved then for a few weeks before the final performance.
Yeah, so the project itself then runs from the 8th of August until the 19th, which is 2 weeks. So it'll be Monday to Friday. It'll be quite intensive. We're running from 10 to 6 Monday to Friday. And they'll do all their dancing, they'll run their lines and their scenes together, and the first week will be in a location here in Letterkenny, and the second week they're going to get the experience of putting on a play from the Monday to the Friday actually in the theatre. So from the Monday, the week of the show, they will have their lights, they will have their set, they will have everything, so they get that full week. Lucky Ducks get a full week in the theatre with their set and everything as well. I can only dream of having that for some of the things that I do. But so that's what they're doing. And then two performances on the 18th and 19th of August. And that wraps it up then for the summer. And who knows, hopefully in a couple of years it will have developed then into something that's maybe a bit bigger. And that's my ambition, is to keep this going. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. Not that I'm equating my play to Rome, but it's a development as much as it's a finished piece as well, because I'm excited to see where it goes and what happens with it. So
fantastic. So it's going to be staged in the alley, and have you got dates for the final performance, Andrew?
Yes, sorry. So the 18th and 19th are the final performance dates, the week of the last week of their intensive. So the 18th and 19th of August at 7:30 in the Alley Theatre there in Strabane. And tickets are actually on sale now, so if you already have somebody in the cast that you know, why not just go ahead and book?
And you've given me a radio edit of one of the songs, so I'm going to play that later on in the show.
Lovely.
That you've written. And who's actually singing that one?
That is the girl that we have cast as Colette, Leah Mullen from the town here.
Uh-huh.
So she's very, very talented, as you will no doubt hear when
Yes.
when the song goes out. So we're very excited to get her up on the stage and to showcase the talent, and the talent of all the teams that we have so far involved is the main objective as well. So.
Well, congratulations once again.
Well, don't say nothing until you see it.
And many, many thanks for taking time out to joining me tonight, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
And every success with Brown Days.
Thank you.
Your voice, your station.